Right. Welcome back, everybody, back to CTI's Demon 20's channel for more PSGL F4 action on a Sunday evening. As you can see, we are live from rainy Mexico this evening. And I am joined in the booth tonight by everybody's favorite commentator we all know and love. How you doing tonight, Gaming Alamanda?
Ah, yeah, good evening to you, Matt, and good evening to everybody for this particular stream. It's nice to be back on, well, a league I spent many seasons before calling it a day in the last game. But yeah, no, Mexico, very exciting track. Lots of interesting corner. Sector 1, just like Monza. Championships are all decided, I believe, but should be some good action there from a pretty healthy sized grid tonight.
Yeah. It's good to see 16 cars tonight after all the championships have been wrapped up already. There's still battles for second down, so people still have something to race for. When Grumpy makes it out onto the track and after he does his out lap, we will be doing a moment of silence and one lap on board of Grumpy, since he has the black helmet and the number 68 for Leon. As the hashtag says in the title, we stand with Leon. Just like yesterday, just like today, and any other day he needs us, we will be here for Leon.
Yep, I completely agree with your sentiments there. Although, if Grumpy doesn't come out, it's going to be kind of awkward now.
Yeah. Well, he said he will, and he said he's going to take it slow so he doesn't crash on it, because he keeps crashing in qualifying recently. Hello,
Well,
Leon.
Grumpy, one of the most experienced drivers on the grids, should do a decent job of it, and in general the race, but don't know what your experience is of racing on this particular track is, Matt, but it's quite a tricky track to set up for because you need low downforce here, otherwise you'll be sitting duck on the straights, but some very technical sections, especially Sector 2.
Yeah. Personally, I struggle in the S's because you need to keep the speed up while you need the downforce to get through there quickly too, without going off to Narnia. Right, let's see.
Yeah, not sure the weather's going to be for the race, but intermediate conditions to start here, and people on their outlaps. And I think the likes of Lars and Joru are just starting their first flying runs.
Yep. I believe they said, because this is a restart, they said it was a inters, quali, and a dry race, so they might be struggling in qualifying if they run a dry setup.
Any indication from the chat whether it's going to be a dry race? I've got a weatherman out on track, but isn't telling me much so far.
It's Sagi. Yeah, in the F4 chat and PSN, they said it was going to be a dry race.
To be fair, that's pretty much what I want to see. So I think a lot of the drivers, they may be braving it out with dry setups, trying to get the best time they can, but it may mix up the grid a little bit. So.
A Renault went off and almost hit the wall there. Stebo.
Yeah, Sebo has good pace, but tends to end his races prematurely, and unless he sorts out that lack of consistency, he's never really going to be challenging for the championship in F4. Because F4 has a reputation for being one of the cleanest leagues. Not so much this season, unfortunately, with some of the shenanigans going on, but consistency is usually the key to winning in sort of the middle tiers of PSGL.
Alright, Grumpy is about to start his lap now, so we will go on board with Grumpy and have a moment of silence for Leon. and Grumpy completes his lap in 10th. Thank you for the moment of silence, everybody, and thank you to Grumpy for volunteering to be the one to do it on stream. As Leon knows, Grumpy respects you very much and has a lot of love for you and everything you do for the league. So, keep your head up, Leon. We're all here for you.
Amen. Right, well, back to the business of qualifying, Matt. Lordy boy, he has shown in recent qualifying sessions, rolling back the proverbial years, getting up there. The results haven't quite matched it, but the youngest PSGL F1 champion of all time, I believe, and he's currently in provisional pole now.
Yeah, he's had a couple good runs last couple weeks, especially at Monza when they had that disaster of a crash. He was the one that snuck by it all, and he had the lead after the safety car there. So he's been putting the car in the right spots. He's just not getting the results he wants.
Yeah, well, I can certainly appreciate that. I mean, a lot of my results have always come from taking advantage of other people's mistakes rather than out-and-out speed, and that is sometimes the key to a good result, just staying out of trouble. And, that crash at Monza was quite shocking, frankly, but it was somewhat amusing to witness because of your commentary as well.
Yeah, I think it was more on Lico because that laugh was hilarious. But yeah, it was quite the sight. I've been part of F4 commentary for about 3 seasons now. We've caught some pretty crazy stuff on stream.
Yeah, I think my personal favourite was when Blue Mosquito did about 10 pirouettes after having an off at Belgium. I've never seen a spin like that before.
Oh yeah, he clipped the curb at Poulan and did about a half spin, and then he got T-boned by Cheater, I believe, and it just sent him look like a helicopter. Forgot about that big C. Brett is supposed to have a quality ban.
Who's Brett, may I ask? There you go.
4th
SSR.
place. Yeah.
All right. Well, he'll probably get his result null and void wherever he finishes then.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think it was ever told in the chat, if I'm not mistaken. But,
Oh, well. Not his fault then, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Bit of failure from race control.
Oh, Alex is cutting all the corners, so I guess he's coming into the pits. On board with Betrayer here, another of the experienced drivers in F4. The most experienced in one team in the Ferrari this season.
Yeah, isn't there about 10,000 races between them?
Yeah, and about 260 years of experience.
Betrayer being 260 of them.
Definitely not the season either one of them were hoping for, but Grumpy's been getting points recently, and Betrayer's been picking up a couple here and there. So maybe we'll see them on the podium before the end of the season. It'll be good to see.
Yeah, hopefully. So Southern in provisional pole at the moment, just ahead of Lordy Boy. So, of course, in a wet quali session, you don't have to worry about fuel. You can, fuel up for multiple laps. Unless it's going to be a wet race, you won't need to worry about tyre wear either. And often, fueling up for a couple of laps is good because you can stay out right to the death and get multiple laps in. As Danestar goes significantly faster. Is that an indication, Matt, that maybe the rain is easing off a bit? Because that's a big chunk of time taken out.
Yeah.
First drive into the 124s.
Yeah, I was just on board with Lordy as he's coming down the pits. There's a few breaks in this guy. I'm seeing a little blue up there. Going board with Chicken Owens here. Looks like to be on a solid lap.
Yeah, interesting that Frome's nephew is back.
Yes. Now the trick for Chicken Owens is don't get as many penalties as your uncle does. That's my advice to you.
That shouldn't really be too difficult.
Well, Mexico is, you get a decent amount of penalties here.
Yeah, so I mean, Sector 1, easy to cut the first corner, then the following chicane at the end of Sector 1. I think the worst place for avoiding penalties is, of course, Sector 2, the S's, very easy to cut there.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't even notice Laggy Person beat Dane by a little bit, so yeah, the track appears to be trying now is maybe in 6 minutes we might get lower 24s, maybe even a 23.
Yeah, still quite lost. There is certainly a racing line appearing, but I don't think it's going to dry out completely before the end of the session. I don't think it's time, but it may get to the point where the times really start tumbling down. So I think we are going to get quite a mixed up grid if it continues like this, because some people are going to get caught out.
Yep. Here comes Chicken to the line for a 25.5. Improves by 0.4 up to third. Lordy Boy is about to start a lap. I believe Josh is on a lap. Josh's car is struggling big time. 30S's definitely has a dry setup on.
Yeah, and it looks like SSR is going to disqualify himself to serve the quali ban now.
Yep, I just saw that in the chat. And there it is. Alright. GG. Thank you, Connor and Brett, for communicating in the chat about that. Oh no, why is the computer pulling him onto the track?
He'll pull off in a minute.
Yeah. That's just what he needs. It pulls on and takes somebody else and gets another ban. Let's see what we got here. Go on board with Betrayer. Coming through Sector 3 now. And as you've said in previous streams in the chat, Betrayer loves these mixed condition type weekends. So.
Yeah, traditionally quite strong. Although, I think out and out pace, not quite up there in terms of the top orders, but, you know, I think dry races gets a bit exposed, but I think that's just because, you know, he's been in this so long and maybe doesn't get the time he used to practice.
Yeah.
But in mixed conditions like this, he used to always come alive. But obviously that was during a race, but apparently it's going to be a dry race, so that won't help him. So I think he'll need to try and get a few places up the grid if he can.
Yeah.
Well, Southern's had enough.
Yep. It's a pretty tight field between 4th and 8th. Or 4th and 9th, really.
Just having a look at Lordy Boy. Lordy Boy is... No, he's pulled out. That particular lap.
Lars is down on his lap just a tiny bit right now as he enters Sector 3. Lordy Boy gets out of the way.
Oh yeah,
he's in
a slow lap.
Yeah. My bad. I wasn't even paying attention to the battery.
He invalidated on that particular lap, so I think he'll be going again.
Alright. Go on board with Blue Mosquito. He's actually 0.4 up on his lap as he enters Sector 3. But he's out
And that,
of something. He's out of battery.
well, he's low on fuel, and if he pits now, he probably won't have time to get back out again.
Nope.
So I think he may, yeah, I think his session's done. Lars is going again, so just seeing what his first sector time is. Currently P10.
Yep.
Yeah, fastest first sector he's done so far. Nearly 4 tenths up. So that would put him, well, if he continues on that trajectory, that would put him into the top 4. Oh, Alex, big off at the S section. So he should, if he's got the fuel, he should get a chance to do another lap. But yeah, big off there. Back end just kicked out. That was it.
Yeah, doesn't take much in these tough conditions. Lars coming through the stadium section here, nice and tidy.
Yeah, this has looked like a much better lap than the previous one.
.25.8. It's slower than his previous one.
Yeah, he had a horrible sector 3 and sector 2, so he lost all the time he gained.
He almost ran Cheater over to going to turn 1 just now too.
Yeah, Cheater's car retired on track, so slightly dangerous, but no harm done. Shouldn't really be doing that.
Yep. He knows better than that too. Veteran of the league.
Oh, there goes Dane start.
24.5.
Don't think he'll have the fuel for another lap, but nearly 3 tenths, and Laggy Person's already finished his session, so the likes of Audio Boy and GP1 Alex and Chicken, they're the ones that are going to be challenging, but Grumpy hasn't really set a time he would be happy with so far. And he's now on Hunter. Spaniard goes up to 3rd, the former F5 champion, I believe.
No, he was runner-up. Nick won that one.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, you are correct.
They went from being championship rivals to teammates who won the constructors together this season, so it's good to see.
Yeah, well, Grumpy went really deep after Sector 1. He's, well, in terms of his sector times, he's not even, well actually he's invalidated, so I think he may have, unless it was on the outlap, he's still pushing.
Lordy does not improve.
I think the conditions have actually got slightly worse the last couple of minutes. Rain seems to be increasing intensity slightly, because the times aren't really coming down again. So it was a great lap from Dainstar.
There you got him.
Drew heading to the line and Grumpy.
Yep. Steppa goes 14th. Grumpy will go 15th. Drew 11th. Spaniard.
Yeah, Chicken's heading for the line. This could be enough for P4.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly P4. Good lap from Chicken.
Yeah, very good lap from Throme's cousin. Who is, I think it's a bit of a nephew, and it's kind of a Jensen Button style helmet he's got on there, so I appreciate that. Somewhat, anyway.
And with the wet qualifying here and a dry race, it means everyone gets to start on the fresh tires. So, will you see anybody start on the hypers, do you think?
Unlikely. I mean, I know Blue G made it work in F7 the other day, but I still think the Ultras are going to be the tyre. Or maybe not. I mean, I have seen in, shall we say, more prestigious leagues, people starting on the hardest compound and then switching to the Ultras later on, and they're mightily quick at the end. Depending on traffic, the two-stop can be viable in certain situations, but if you're going to be trying the two-stop, your race pace has got to be spot on, because if you're slow and you try the two-stop, you'll be nowhere.
Exactly. And the rundown for qualifying today, we got Dane on pole, Laggy Person in second after winning the last 3 races. He'll be on the front row. Spaniards in third, Chicken Nones in fourth, Lordy in fifth, Alex in sixth, Cheater in seventh, Southern in eighth, Josh in ninth, Lars in 10th, Drew in 11th, Blue in 12th, Betrayer in 13th, Steb in 14th, Grumpy in 15th, and Brett serving his quali ban in 16th. A lot of experience at the back of the grid there.
Yeah, I mean, these guys were challenging towards the top of F4, and that just shows you, the amount of speed that's come into the grid. But of course, the wet conditions probably didn't help. So I think it has mixed up the grid a little bit, but Laggy Person's up there. And Dane Star once again, proving to be quite strong in qualifying, but it's a dry race here. Everyone will be running dry setups, so it's going to be a very intense race, very long race this one, and penalties will be key.
Oh, for sure. Because in the dry, they're going to be able to be more aggressive, so there'll be more corner cuts and stuff along the way. Alright, let's see. Everyone's choosing their tire strategies, loading up on their fuel. I mean, for favorites today, it'd be hard to bet against Laggy Person right now, as he's won 3 consecutive races on tire strategy.
Mm.
So,
This is certainly one of the more dangerous turn ones. Very heavy braking zone, concertina effects, very tight apex. So, if anyone on the inside gets their braking wrong, we could see quite a few cars off the road.
Oh boy, I see a lot of lagging through the field. We got Dane on the hypers, Lars, Juru on the hypers, and Grumpy on the hypers. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Chicken
I would imagine
on the supers.
Well, that pretty much tells us that those 4 drivers will be looking to do a 2-stop. I'm surprised anyone that low down would go on the hypersofts, but it gives them an aggressive chance to gain some places. So it could come back for them later on. But they'll be 2-stopping because it is literally impossible. You can't do hypersofts to supersofts to the end of the race. At least, well, I mean you could, but you'd have literally no performance on the supersofts at the end of the race if you try it, because they'll be pitting between lap 7 to 11 if you're on the hypersofts.
Yeah. And the supers, I'd only recommend going about 21, 22 at most.
Yeah, 20 laps is about right for the supersofts.
Yeah, if Chicken Owens could stay up front, I think he's got the best strategy right now, going from supers to ultras.
It's a bold call from Chicken, but he is going to have to nail the start, because if he gets even a slightly lackluster start, he's going to get absolutely swamped by the cars behind, who will have better traction in the opening laps. So it's a calculated risk, but he can maintain a position or even just lose a 1 or 2 places and still be close to the leaders. Chicken could be in contention maybe for a surprise podium today.
It would be good to see. It's his second race back since he's come back. Alright. We have red lights. There's 2, 4, 5. Good math. And away we go. Ooh, bad start for... Was that the Sauber? Dane's going to lead them all down into turn 1. Laggy Person's on the inside. And looking to make that move. Dane has the inside for the next corner. Laggy and... Ooh. Possible 3-way with Chicken here. Crazy start. 4 cars wadded together.
What a start by Chicken.
And into the lead he goes, it looks like. Unless Laggy's got something to say on the outside there.
Yeah, still side by side.
Ooh, Not really where you want to be going side by side on this track, but they keep it clean.
Yeah. Yeah, ran out of road. Probably would have picked up a warning for that. Now he's going to be under all sorts of trouble from Lordy Boy, who's made a great start himself. And Danestar, ironically, on the best tyre to start on, got a nightmare of a start, down to P4 already.
Yeah, and being in traffic, it will heat up those tires, wear them out a little faster too, so.
Yeah, pretty clean. For the most part, pretty clean start. Something happened to Spaniard. His car just pulled off the road. It maybe got big damage, but he didn't crash, so he was still running. But yeah, he just called it a day. Maybe he had to leave.
I believe. Sorry, I believe he retired because he was lagging big time off the start there. Cause he didn't move, and then he launched forward, and then he went back again. So maybe just left for everybody's safety.
Yeah, well, first time in the race, and so Chicken in a dream position on the Supersofts in P2 and less than a second off the leader. And there's after around lap 5 or 6, those Supersofts will be really good for him. So he's just got to keep within the second of Lackey if he can, and that would protect him from being attacked from behind.
I'm actually on board with Southern right now. Josh and Juru are side by side, and they've had some history this season, including last week, which resulted in a 15-second penalty for Josh for this race, even though he was the one that got taken out. Logic.
So many warnings already. There's literally over 30 warnings already.
Oh wow. Yeah, the S section's gonna ruin a lot of people's races, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and Blue Mosquito and Grumpy going side by side through the stadium section. Don't normally see overtaking there, but it's only about P13 as Lag Person begins to throw the rubber down. Those ultras are now out of DRS range, and Lordy Boy is going to maybe go for an attack on Chicken. Oh, the dive by Danestar. Oh, that was optimistic. That was never going to work.
Oh no!
Oh, contact Lordy Boy. No,
Oh.
that was not particularly clever from Danestar.
No,
The
that
first
was
move wasn't on. The first move was probably only 10% on. The second one was 0% on whatsoever, and he's taken Lordy Boy out. So that will certainly go to the stewards if it's reported.
As it should be. That was just clumsy. But we carry on.
Yeah, it wasn't malicious, but very clumsy.
Yeah.
Move of frustration, that looked like to me.
Cheaters tracking down Lars for 5th.
Yeah, well, Lordy Boy's cheerleader section in the comments section, Big C, is absolutely devastated right now after seeing that incident.
Yes, he is sick to his stomach. And he will be receiving that video in the source office in approximately about an hour.
Well, Lars Gaming now trying to put the pressure on GP1 Alex at about P4. So Lars Gaming's recovered some positions pretty well, and on the Hypersoft. So in terms of the Hypersoft runners, has made the best going of it so far. Although Alex covers the inside, goes rather deep into turn 1, but well defended there from the Force India driver.
And Lars now in the DRS. He's going to get a run. He's going to move to the outside here. Take a peek. Around the outside, and looks like job done. Nice move by Lars up in the fourth.
Well, Alex May tried to come back down, doesn't quite have the grip to do it, so Lars should have the traction here, yeah. So really good move from Lars. In terms of positions gained, he's gained more than anyone else. 6 positions gained from the start of the race. Started in P10, he's now in P4.
Yeah, earlier in the season, he would start up front and he would get mad he'd get taken out. He's been starting further toward the back at the last couple races, and it's worked out well for him.
Yeah, and I think there's a bit of a train behind Lars as they end lap 4, so I think we could see quite a lot of slipstream going on with Cheetah, Alex and Josh and Juru right within a second of each other.
Probably going to be a lot of weaving here for everybody breaking the stream, that slipstream. It's like a Pied Piper. He moves, everybody else moves. Ooh, around the outside.
Well, this 5-car change really intense. Danestar's actually got back onto the back of Chicken, but it's not going to be able to pass him for now. So this 5-car train's probably the one to keep an eye on for now. As Lars tries to get away from Alex, but don't forget, those hypersofts are going to start to be going off within the next couple of laps or so.
Yeah, for sure. The guys on the ultras will be waiting for that, and they're going to take advantage of it. Oh, Drew just gave Josh a nudge again, because that's what he's been doing all season.
Yeah, side by side as they enter the stadium section. Giroux, also another one of the 4 drivers on the hypersofts, keeps the car just about within the track limits and takes the position. So, and again, another overtaking the stadium section, not something you normally see. There's a yellow flag somewhere. Oh, a Southern's had an off at the S section. And it's now down to P14, and it's lost its entire wing, so nightmare situation for the Renault driver there. Danestar goes for a move on Chicken.
And Josh gets by Juru as well. Chicken's holding strong against Dane.
Yeah, and this is going to be pleasing.
Oh, Southern just
Southern's
called it.
In the pit lane, yeah. Fast lap of the race from P14 Brett, but not going to do much good. I think he had to come in the pits for a nose change on lap 1. I think that's why he's so far behind.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, big moment for Chicken.
Yeah.
Through the S's. Got it slowed down, but he's now dropped out of the DRS range. So Danestar, don't think it's too late for him to get off the laggy before he has to pit, but he's got some clean air at last.
Josh, Drew, and Lordy are all within 7/10 of each other here as they come through the stadium section.
Yeah, and ahead of them is another trio, Lars, Alex, and Cheetah within a second of each other.
Ooh, it looked like Drew kind of wanted to pit there, but look, maybe he thought Lordy had a run and he decided not to pit and came back up.
Well, I think it looked like understeer to me. I think those hypers are starting to cool off a bit for Giroux, unfortunately. Lordy tries to regain the positions he lost earlier after that contact with Danestar.
Actually, I didn't even check. Did Danestar pick up damage from that?
No, I think he got very lucky. It's quite a low speed contact, but yeah, he was... Actually, there may be a part of his wing missing on the right hand side, but it's probably very light green damage at worst.
Yeah. Ooh, Drew at a moment. A little wide on the S's.
Yeah, just looking at Mr. Grumpy's Ferrari, it looks undrivable at the moment. You know, he's just dropping bags at time to Blue Mosquito. I don't know if he's picked up damage in a battle somewhere, but it just looks...
There goes Drew into
this
the
looks
pits.
awful. This looks awful at the moment.
A very good run for the Force India boys so far, 1st and 5th currently.
Yeah, Lars hanging on to P8, but doing a decent job on the hypersofts, but you can just tell from the way he's having to correct himself mid-corner sometimes that the rears on the hypersofts especially are starting to bite a little bit.
Oh, Lars is off. He's in the wall.
Oh, well,
the
I did say that the rears of those hypersofts were beginning to look a bit dodgy. Yeah, he's lost his wing. Well, apparently Grumpy has suffered the unfortunate luck of a default setup glitch again.
It's 2 weeks in a row now, and we had to restart both times too.
which would explain his lack of pace. As, oh my goodness, Brett nearly lost it completely for the S section, but saved it. What a shame for Grumpy getting that glitch again. I mean, that must be so frustrating.
Oh wow, Cheater gives Josh a nudge, and Lordy Boy will pass Josh.
Yeah, Lordy Boy's coming back very strongly, and I think he's going to go lay on the brakes against Cheater, former F4 champion.
Ooh, Lordy up in the fifth. Josh might get them both here. Nope. Actually, yeah, he will.
Yeah, he tried to. Oh, Lordy Boy's gone really wide there, so Josh may take both of them, and he does.
Oh, Cheater saved it. He hit the curb and slid a little there.
I think Grumpy... Oh, Jeru's out. Not sure what happened to him.
I think the rest of the field will breathe a sigh of relief on that one. Dane's starting to the pits early in the Ultras.
Yeah. That's very early for the Ultras. Well, he'll be doing... Oh, he's left.
And he left.
Okay. So that was a disconnect, but I think Grumpy, given his struggles, it's getting to the point where he may call it a day himself, because, you know, this is probably one of the worst tracks to have a default setup glitch on. You have no straight line speed, and you have, you know, don't have the sort of suspension set to attack the curbs, which you really need here. So it's a pretty awful situation.
Yeah. He is gaining it. Oh, never mind. I was going to say he's gaining on Dane, but it's going to be an AI car, so.
Well, that opens the door for Chicken to get onto the podium with Danestar leaving.
Yeah.
Because he's 3.9 seconds ahead of the next challenger. I think maybe, you know, Laggy Person may be beyond him pace-wise, but second place looks pretty sewn up at the moment.
And don't count Lordy Boy out either. Maybe if he gets an undercut here on Alex, he's got a chance to cut that 4-second gap down. Seth is out.
He is. Where has he crashed?
Oh,
he's crashed on the start finish straight.
Wait, his car was still moving.
Yeah, well, he must have damaged the wing and then just thought, you know what. So, yeah, the retirement's creeping up. So that's, well, plus Danestar, that's 5 retirements.
You know, how much of a nightmare this race is for Grumpy with the default setup. He might steal some points still.
Well, yeah, he's in P9 at the moment. And he hasn't hit it yet. He may still get a point, so, you know, sometimes just keep going and see what happens. There may be some few more times yet, but the putt for fourth really starting to hot up.
At least for his sake, he could at least lower the wing down to like 1.6 or 2.6 on a pit stop.
Yeah. It's more it's the suspension that really hurts him, because the default of 6 is too high for this track. You need it lower so you can attack the curbs here to get your lap time.
A 4-car battle for fourth here.
Oh. Grumpy is in the pits.
Yep.
Has to serve a stop go as well, of course.
Into the Super C goes.
Yeah, so once Danestar's AI car drops to the back, Grumpy will be in P11, so you'll have to hope probably for another retirement to get into the points after losing 5 seconds in the pit lane.
never know. Cars are still close to each other, and a mistake might be made. But quietly up into 7th is Betrayer, as he's caught the train.
He has. Well, the top 8. None of the top 8 have pitted yet. I think the ultra soft runners will be, a few of them will be thinking about a pit stop in a couple of laps' time. Oh, Grumpy's lost it. The S section. Wing gone. Just goes from bad to worse. And it's a virtual safety car. Well, now I wonder, is anyone going to take advantage of a pit stop here? It might be a bit too early for the ultra soft runners still. And actually, no one's actually near the pit lane.
Oh, man. Josh just tagged Lordy Boy, and Lordy saved it.
Well, they shouldn't be fighting for position. No overtaking under a virtual safety car. So that didn't really do anyone any good.
Oh, that was a quick one, too. See what Josh could do.
Yeah, he's looking pretty racy now against Lordy Boy. They've broken away from the likes of Cheetah and Betrayer.
Yeah. Yeah, Cheater looked like he was struggling a little bit on his ultras. Maybe he has a little more tire wear than the other guys. And Lordy Boy defends well.
Yeah. Well, very few drivers have the experience that Lordy Boy does in PSGL. But Josh is going to try it. Seems to have better tyres at this stage. And yes, gets the inside for the next corner. Squeezes Lordy out barely. So a good move from Josh. Oh, slight contact from Lordy Boy behind, but no damage done.
And it's good that the two McLarens are on different tire compounds, so they'll be pitting at separate times. They don't have to worry about who goes first or anything like that.
Yeah, so Chicken and Blue Mosquito, they'll be very quick at the end towards the end of the race. Josh and Lordy Boy battling again. Lordy Boy easily out-dragging the Red Bull into turn 1.
Yeah, sector 3.
Grumpy has called it a day. I'm not surprised at all whatsoever.
Brett is into pits for his supers. Betrayer and Cheater seem to be on even footing. Their gap is not changing between the two. And they're both into their pits.
Yeah, putting a set of super soft boots on. Now Lars is actually entering the final sector, so it'll be interesting to see if Lars will be able to get back out in front of those two. He pitted quite a few laps before them. Because he starts on the Hypersoft, of course, so he's going to stretch those out to the end. And I think actually Lars may get Betrayer, but no, he's actually, don't know if he had to switch his wing or something like that. Betrayer's going very slow. Lars may get him for under braking. No, not close enough.
Yeah, Lars will get the position while Betrayer tries to heat up the tires, but I think Betrayer will get him back eventually.
Yeah, it's quite a long way to go for Lars. He's already done 7 laps on those super softs.
Yep.
So
20 to go.
I think he'll be pitting. I think he'll be pitting again, or the tires will explode. One of the two. Oh, speaking of tires exploding, Josh has a puncher. He spins it in the stadium section. Rear right puncher for the Red Bull driver. Oh, and he was just coming into pit as well because Lordy Boy and Alex are pitting as well, but that would have cost him at least 5 seconds.
Yep. And Laggy will come out 15.6 seconds behind Chicken.
And Cheetah Betrayer actually undercut Lordy Boy with just 1 extra lap on those super softs.
That's a decent sized undercut.
Now, Chicken will be hoping Blue holds up Laggy just for a little bit. Yeah, Blue's covering the insides. He's not going to make it easy.
It's the new Lewis, or the new Laggy person, has learned some, what do you call it? Patience. That's word.
Yeah, well, he's got much fresher rubber, so he doesn't have to go for a lunge straight away. It didn't cost him too much time, actually, because Chicken's got really poor tyres at this point as well, so... You know, like, he's got to get on with it a bit, though. Like, he's got to, you know, put a few good laps in just to make the gap comfortable. Because Chicken, you know, he'll be in the ultras to end the race, and he'll be able to eat into the advantage of the super soft runners pretty quickly. At least for the first part of the tyre life for those ultras.
Yeah, for sure. Betrayer and Cheater are on track together, they pit together, and they're back on track together.
Yeah, that puncher has meant that Josh is now 7.5 seconds behind Lars, so very unlucky for the Red Bull driver, but maybe should have pitted a bit earlier if his tyre wear was that bad.
Yeah, personally I wouldn't do more than 15 laps on the ultras there, and he was on his 17th, so that was quite of a gamble there. I get fastest lap of the race. Oh, he's putting down those fast laps like you said. The gap's already 11 seconds.
Yeah, Chicken will be pitting probably within the next 3 laps, maybe lap 21. But I think...
Yeah.
Well, in fact, he'll be dropping behind... Well, it's actually... It's not too far off dropping behind the other Force India, although he'll be able to overtake him quite quickly. But, you know, Alex is good pace. He's comfortably ahead of Cheetah and Betrayer at the moment. Oh, and Chicken picks up his first penalty of the race, so that's not going to help his cause.
It's that Frome tendency right there. Actually, as it stands now, Josh would get no points because he has that 15-second penalty, and that would drop him to 11th. So that's really costly for him in the points. Oh, Chicken's in the pit.
And Blue as well.
Go on board with Alex here.
Yeah, Chicken comfortably ahead of him. So now 13 point, 3 seconds on lap 20. That's a tall order. I think I think he'd be best served, to be honest, unless his pace is insanely quicker than Nagy. Try and nurse the car home for P2.
We'll see what he decides. He's got 16 laps to 13 seconds. But if he really pushes, those tires will be really dead and in puncture territory.
Yeah, but one driver to keep an eye out for is Blue Mosquito. He's just come out in the Ultra Softs, and he's got, you know, up to Cheetah and P4, not too far down the road, so he could gain a few positions here, especially on Lars at least, because Lars is on much older super soft tires.
Another thing to point out, I haven't noticed his name yet, but Blue Mosquito doesn't get very many penalties, so you might, if he gets close enough, you could jump quite a few positions too. Oh, Lordy gets by a Betrayer. To be fair, Lordy's only 4 seconds behind a podium position himself, so don't count him out just yet. After all the trouble he's been through in this race. Ooh, 3-second penalty for Lewis. That makes him and Chicken even footing, I believe.
Let me check. No, actually Chicken has 2 penalties. Blue already right on the back of Lars Gaming, so that did not take long at all. 1 lap, he's already just demolished that. I think it was about 3 seconds when he came out, easily, unless Lars has made a big mistake somewhere.
They're coming through the final couple corners now. Look for Lordy to get P4 by turn 1. He was massively faster than Cheater through the S's.
Yeah, it will be no contest.
Nope. Switched on to Blue Mosquito as he will try to no contest Lars.
Although Lordy Boy very close with Cheetah now. Betrayer sort of dropping back from those 2. And he'll soon have Blue Mosquito. Blue Mosquito is already within. You can see all 3 of those cars ahead, so he's going to have some fun in this final stint. And I think P4, which would be a good result for Blue, former F4 champion, of course, and not out of the question. And you know, if anything happens to one of the top 3, then he could still go on the podium, especially with penalties, because Chicken, of course, has 6 seconds of penalties. Just going to check. Blue has any. He has no warnings whatsoever, so Blue actually could get on the podium if Chicken gets any more penalties with him pushing so hard.
And I believe everybody in front of Blue has penalties, so he doesn't exactly have to put the car up front to get a good position here.
Yeah, I mean, Alex doesn't have any penalties either. So
if I remember right from past broadcast, Alex doesn't have a mic, so that's one less interview we'll have to do.
Yeah, well, just for an example, Blue Mosquito just went 2 seconds faster than Betrayer's last lap.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. 3-second gap to 1.1 second gap. Lars in the pit.
Yep, perhaps looking to get the fastest lap. Might be able to catch. He'll probably be able to catch Brett for P9.
I don't think Lars was going to make it to the end on those supers anyway. They would have been in like 26 laps or something.
No, he wouldn't have made it.
So at least
and starting on the Hypersofts just isn't the strategy here, unless you get lucky with traffic, or your pace is just that good, you can make it work. That's the only way. I mean, in theory, the one stop is the best strategy here in a dry race.
They're coming through the stadium section now, and it looks like Blue's gonna no contest betray run a straight.
Yes, I mean, you can just see Betrayer struggling with the back end of the car. And those super softs, they don't quite have the traction of fresh ultra softs, blue. And you know, Betrayer knows the game's up, he's not going to fight it. He's on for a good point score. No need to risk it.
Odems is in the chat, and Odem says hi.
Hello to you, Odems. Hope you enjoyed the race today, and good luck for F1 tomorrow. So Blue up to P6, so McLaren P5 and P6 at the moment. So it's looking like a good session for them, and I think, well, you would imagine Cheetah won't hold up his teammate, and then Lordy Boy, well, it's going to be very difficult for Lordy Boy to hold off Blue in this kind of form.
Yeah, for sure. But it should be a great battle between the two of them, though. Chicken's not really gaining on lag anymore. Is he just conserving tires now?
Yes, I mean, if he was a little bit quicker, then he would probably be siphoning that gap to Laggy Person, but he's not quite the pace of Laggy Person. But, so, you know, I think when you realise that when you're on a better tyre but you're still not really gaining, that's the time where you think, okay, I'm going to just turn the engine down and bring it home.
Blue Mosquitoes cut it to a second and a half to his teammate. And he's also getting low on fuel, according to the little icon there. And he should be well within the DRS range coming up to the straight here.
Yeah, hasn't quite cut into the advantage of Cheetah as quickly as the other two drivers, so that suggests that the ultimate performance of the Ultras is not quite what it was, but he should still get this move done. Although, I don't know, is he going to be close enough? I think Cheetah's got pretty good straight line speed, and maybe there's not going to be any team orders between these two, which will be good news for Lordy Boy, who's now 2.6 seconds up the road.
Ooh, Lars. Nice lap, Lars. And he's caught Brett. Oh.
Yeah, blistering pace from Lars there. Oh, there you go. There's the swap.
Yep. And they did it without losing each other at any time at all, so that's good teamwork right there.
Yeah. Yeah, good teamwork, and it's not allowed Betrayer to get any closer. So Lars is rapidly closing on Brett, so that's going to be our next on-track battle, I think.
Yep. And Lars feels more comfortable now having a tire that will make it to the end.
Yeah. It does tend to be the way of this Mexico race. A lot of the battles in the second stint tend to be uneven struggles, where, you know, one guy's got a much better tyre than the other.
Yeah.
So sometimes the race can be not the most entertaining because of that in terms of the battles. They tend to be over pretty quickly.
Oh, Brett's lagging just a bit there in front of Lars. So Lars definitely looking to get by him quickly so he doesn't deal with the lag.
A bit of weaving there from Brett,
Yeah.
but trying to break the toe, but not going to do him any good. Lars easily getting out in front, and as Brett thinks about a move now, he's just not got the tyres to fight him. Interestingly, Lordy Boy is actually closing in on Alex. Alex is had some sluggish laps recently. I don't know what's happened. He suddenly lost a lot of time. Just going to have a look and see what's going on there. Yeah, suddenly he had a time that was nearly in the 1 minute 19 last time out, so must have made a mistake somewhere.
Huh. Bless you. Maybe. I was gonna say maybe he's saving tires too, but his tires are comfortable enough to go to the end.
Yeah, he's only got one warning, so he's got no penalties to worry about. Lordy Boy's actually got 3 penalties now.
Ah.
So Blue Mosquito is definitely going to be P4 as it stands. Oh, Lars is enjoying himself out there at least with some quality laps. I think it'll be good actually on the next game. You know, I assume the leagues would adopt the fastest lap point as in real life, so that could be quite entertaining towards the end of the race, seeing people trying to set down old tires and then bottling it.
You see the whole fuel pit with 3 laps to go.
I'd like to see that. I mean, it's an extra point for someone down the order to get. I mean, obviously limit it to the top 10, otherwise it'd be a bit of a joke.
Well, yeah.
Like in real life.
I mean, to be fair, not anything against PSGL in particular, but usually at the end of the race, there's only the points guys running anyways.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, this particular season, I can't remember a season where there's been so many retirements across the board. I mean, I remember the first season of F1 2018, and I think it was Australia where there was a ton of retirements everywhere. Yeah. But apart from that, it wasn't that many.
Yeah, I remember you did the math for that. It was like, what, 67% or something? Or 70%? DNF that weekend?
Yeah. 67%, yeah, something like that, of the entrants retired at Australia. It was quite, it was actually a worse retirement rate than Monaco the following season.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's true. In my division, we had 4 at Australia, and we had 9, I believe, at Monaco this season, so, yeah.
I think we had 6 out of 17 finish in our first F7 round. Oh, another penalty for Lordy Boy. Which just completely cut the stadium section, which is why he's suddenly now 3.9 seconds ahead of Lordy Boy. Blue, I mean. Well, it's been pretty serene for the fourth gear driver out front. Laggy person, it's been once he took the lead, he's literally not looked back since.
And yeah, he had a really slow start to the season, but I think the directors are gonna take into the fact that he's won 4 consecutive races when they're looking who to promote.
Yeah, I mean, judging by this, he's probably at least F2. But of course, there isn't a next season. We're waiting for the next game now, so
yeah,
that kind of doesn't matter right now. So it's going to be an interesting thing, because obviously a new game usually shakes things up. So someone like Laggy Person may not be that quick on the next game, at least at first. Some people take a season to really get into the game, and then you see their true pace the following season. I think Laggy Person was kind of like that as well. You know, he didn't have this sort of pace until recently. I mean, he was quick, but he wasn't dominating races like this in F4, which is no mean feat. It's not pace-wise, it's not that bad in F4.
Yeah, since Nick's won the title, he's definitely been class of the field himself.
Yeah, Josh picks up another penalty, which might put him in danger of losing a place to Lars, who's still got really good pace, although Lars has 1 penalty himself.
But don't forget, Josh has the 15-second penalty from last race added to this one.
Yes, he does. You are right.
So technically, he's 10th right now.
Lordy Boy has cut so many corners, it has allowed him to get right onto the back of Alex, although he's got 12 seconds of penalties now. Betrayer, though, he's seems to have conserved his tyres pretty well and found that consistency. He's now closing in on Cheetah. So these two have been battling quite a bit during this race. Was a bit of a lull between them, but I think they're going to finish with a bit of a battle to end this Mexico Grand Prix. So maybe the best battle we get, unless Lordy Boy gets onto the back of Alex.
I'm sure he will after a few more corner cuts.
Yeah, well, Cheetah had an awful middle sector. He was 1.2 seconds slower than Betrayer in that middle sector. I mean, no, he's had an absolute shock, and that's allowed Betrayer to get into DRS range.
Yeah, they're both getting to the point where those supers aren't the grippiest, but you know, they're still decent. They're just not the best right now.
Yeah, well, Betrayer using all of that experience to, you know, look after the tires a bit better, and that's his reward. P6.
I'd say a pretty good day overall for McLaren in the real life race. Lando finished 6th, and they got 5th and 7th in this one. Oh, Brett with a penalty. There are 4 laps to go now.
Yeah, Chicken has really gone into cruise mode now. He's losing about a second a lap now to Laggy.
Oh, and Brett has gone around.
Yeah, doesn't seem to have any grip left in those super softs. Oh, Betrayer picks up his first penalty of the race, so that may cost him the place he gained.
Actually, neither McLarens have a penalty, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Brett's come into the pits for a set of hyper softs, I think. And oh, a new wing, so he lost his wing in the S section as well.
Odds are that will be our fastest lap of the race right there.
Yeah, assuming he doesn't bin it again, go too fast. But Lolly Boy now within a second, so this isn't really a battle for the podium because Lolly Boy has so many penalties, but let's pretend for a second it's not. It's Lolly Boy really putting Alex under pressure.
He's got a good run here. Will they have enough time by turn 1? Ooh, a little contact.
Ooh, slight contact.
Nothing major there. They'll both carry on. Alright, Lorry boy, you got 3 seconds to catch 11, or 3 laps to catch 11 seconds. Go, Lorry, go.
Yeah. And hopes that race control remove 12 seconds of penalties, but that's not going to happen.
Be like Men in Black, get that little light thing that makes you forget everything.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's just pretend I'd like the third film wiped from my memory, frankly.
That's a good point. Cheater's catching Betrayer again.
Yes, he's kept within DRS range, sort of recovered a little bit. No, Betrayer's actually not got a lot of batteries, so he might be quite vulnerable on the straight, although no, Cheesy's actually back within DRS range. Chicken is really struggling now. Now nearly 20 seconds behind Laggy Person, so this was around the lap where Josh got his puncher on these ultra softs, so he's got to be really careful.
You gotta try to lay off some of the curbs too, because that will disrupt the tire.
Yeah, because he's driven superbly today, Chicken. You know, went for the bold super softs in the top 10. And he's made it work. He just needs to nurse it home. Doesn't matter if you finish 30 seconds behind as long as you get onto the podium. You know, he's not in a title fight or anything, so you know he's got to get the result he deserves.
Yep. And if it holds, it's a great result indeed.
Yeah, well, could get two battles on the final lap. Betrayal vs Cheetah and Lars Gaming is now closed right onto the back of Josh. Battle of P8.
And the Red Bull sister teams, Toro and Red Bull. As it stands, Josh will finish ninth regardless, since Brett is 45 seconds behind.
Not sure.
Ooh.
Did Brett set the fastest lap? Well, laggy person. Well, over 20 seconds ahead now. It's been a very comfortable win here. Famous last words as he goes through the S-Pen section.
Yeah, well, I don't see Frizzo here, so I think we're safe.
Yeah, Lars Gaming right on the back, and he's going to... We're going to go back to laggy person because he's about to cross the line as the crowd rises to its feet in appreciation of the Force India driver.
And there's all the confetti, too. Laggy person, for the 4th consecutive week, will be the top step of the podium. Well done, Laggy.
Yeah, brilliant performance. And Chicken heading through the same section. I think his tires are just about going to survive. Although he's going almost comically slowly through the same section. I think another lap, I think they would have blown up, frankly. And yeah, but a brilliant drive from Chicken to get P2.
Lordy will cross the line in P3, but likely would be like 7th or 8th with the penalties.
Yeah, so Alex P3, so a really good day's work for Force India. 1 and 3.
Yes.
Lordy Boy will probably be around P8 after the penalties.
Oh, P5.
Had quite. Yeah, P5 is not bad for Lordy Boy at all. Lars Gaming and Josh getting very close to each other. Who's going to take P8? It's going to be Lars in the end. Yeah, not a bad race, that one. Not a classic either, but a few decent moments. But nonetheless, Force India, day belongs to them and laggy person.
Yes. And all UK podium as well.
Right, well, I'll let you conduct the interviews, but I'm going to shoot off.
All right. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate having you in the booth. It's an honor every time.
No problem, and big congratulations to the top 3, and see you all around soon. Cheers, Matt.
Yeah, take care, man. Yeah, man. I hate when the bottom of the list doesn't load up right away when you scroll down. Alright, so Laggy with the win. Chicken in second, Alex in third, Blue Mosquito in fourth, Lordy Boy in fifth, Cheater Shader in fifth, Cheater Shader in sixth, Betrayer in seventh, Lars in eighth, Josh will stay in ninth even with the 15-second penalty, since Brett finished a lap down, and Brett will get the last point in 10th. Not a bad drive after serving the qualifying ban. Just make sure your voice on share, Chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy. Alright, well, I know last time we had interviews, Alex said he didn't have a mic, so we'll start with Laggy for the fourth consecutive week. I know you're tired of this interview. Actually, you know what? Who gets tired of winning? How do you feel today after your fourth consecutive one?
Good. Yeah, it was alright. Just kind of kept the race pace up and just tried to replicate what I did last weekend. So yeah, and just managed to tired. Yeah, and not been it.
Um,
That's pretty much it.
were you excited to see that qualifying was rainy and the race was dry so you could start on the fresh tires? Or were you just...
Yeah, I only got one quali lap in because on my last one I got an invalid. So I was lucky to be honest, start second, then get a good start and go up just to supers because the hypers just wouldn't make it on a one stop. It wouldn't happen. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so we had to, unfortunately, the one I call my home track, which I don't personally like, but is there a possibility for 5 wins in a row next week?
I will hope for it, yeah.
All right, well, congratulations again, and good luck next week, Lewis. So we'll move on to second place, as From would call him, Chicken Boy. um, you were the highest qualifier to start on the supers. Was that the intention all along when you knew it was different tires for quality and dry, or was that just a spur of the moment thing when you started?
Honestly, I had no idea what tyres to start on. I didn't have any idea on what to do for strategy. So I kind of just picked the supers to try something different to hopefully what everyone else were doing, and I did. And it seemed to work alright.
Yeah, you had some really good pace on the supers at the beginning. You were able to stay in front of, was it Lord? He was on the hypers, I believe. So
Yeah, I felt pretty good on the supers.
yeah, you look like you're doing good. At the end of the race, you look like you were struggling on the ultras. There, were you just conserving tires to bring it home safely in second?
Yeah, I was just trying to actually finish the race because them ultras were definitely not going to last anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's a hell of a drive today, and in your second race back, you get second place. So,
Yeah, it's not
job
bad,
well
is it?
done. Um,
Thank you.
how do you feel about USA if you're able to race next week?
I'm not. I don't want to jinx it, but USA's been one of my best tracks on recent seasons. So I'm hoping that I can get at least a podium next race if I can carry on with that pace that I had on the last game and earlier on last season.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You've shown you've got the pace to hang out with everybody at the top. You you think you could knock Mr. Laggy here off his pedestal of his 4 wins in a row?
I'm not sure about that. He seems a bit too fast for this league.
Yeah, he's definitely turned it up the second half of the season. Well, congratulations to both of you, and thank you for the interviews. That will
No
be
props.
it for tonight with PSGL F4. We will be live again next Sunday evening at 8 p.m. for USA and good old Texas. Hopefully we get a full field because everything's bigger in Texas. And catch everybody next week. Take care and stay safe, and see you soon.